Used to have an old fire chief that would say, when you're sizing up the scene, you got to use a rule of thumb. If you put your thumb out there and you can cover up the scene, you're far enough away. But if you can still see the fire scene past your thumb, you're too close. I'm J Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast. That sounds like probably the silliest safety instruction you've ever heard, but it really does play into exactly what I want to talk about today when it comes to leadership, and that is that depth of focus, that field of focus, and the details of your focus. See, it really is about how far away you are from the subject, from the issue, from the relationship, from the problem. It also has a lot to do with the details that you see in the problem when you get so close that all you can see is the problem. I think we've all been there sometime. Maybe it's a challenge in a relationship. It's drama that you didn't want to have in the relationship. It's a fight within the relationship. It's something like that really it's all you can see. You can't see around it. You can't see past it. You can't even see the people in the problem. You just see the problem, the microscopic problem, and it drives you crazy because that's all you can see. As leaders, we are responsible for shifting that dynamic a little bit, and maybe it's back away from the scene, hold your thumb up and see just how far away you have to be before it's not as big a problem as it seems. It really is all about perspective. But see, photographers, videographers, they have the ability to adjust the lens. Now, I'm using two devices that they're based on autofocus. So if I move too close to them, the light balance changes, the focus changes, the things that you can see and can't see, like my hand moving, is probably making the camera completely crazy. But when I stay in one position for a moment, and I stay in a balanced light environment for a moment, the autofocus is able to catch up. See, our mind and our eyes in our relationships, they do the same thing. When things are out of perspective, when we're at the wrong distance from them, when we don't have the ability to do that rack focus where we can zoom in and zoom out on our own, we have the ability to adjust the focus for the depth of field. How far away from the subject are you? Or how close? But see, there's also this really cool thing in field of focus and depth of focus that allows you to move the subject really close and then blur the background. You've seen these beautiful photographs where you see a tiny little flower and it fills the whole screen, and around it you just see a blur. The reason we teach young drivers don't stare at the oncoming headlights is because we tend to move toward those things that we're focused on. We also know that you're going to get more of what you're focused on. You're going to move toward it, and you're going to get more of it. In the ways of leadership and human relationships, we also know that if you're so microscopically focused on the drama in a relationship, you're not really focused on the relationship. You're just focused on the drama. If you're really focused on the problems that a job has presented you, you're not really focused on the job, you're focused on the problems. And in the same way that the rack focus of the photographer or the videographer will blur the background and give you unbelievable, beautiful clarity and detail on the flower, you do the same thing with problems. And sometimes what you need to do is back up a little bit and change your depth of focus and say, you know what, in the grand scheme of things, this is a very small flower in a gigantic garden. A very small garden in a very large county. A very small garden in the world. But when you're zoomed in, when you're focused on, laser focused on the drama within the problem, it's like staring at the pollen on the top of a tiny flower. Are you following me? See, we have the opportunity, and as leaders, we have the responsibility as well to ensure that when we focus our team, when we focus our own conversations, our own communications, our own emotional relatability, that we're focused on the good of the team and not the drama behind one thumb. Changing that perspective, changing that angle, changing that depth of focus can change everything in your leadership. And I challenge you to spend a little bit of time asking yourself, what is it that I'm focused on? Am I too close? Am I too far away? Am I focused in one area when there are a whole lot more to pay attention to? What if I change the angle or change the light that I see someone in? Would it make a difference in my leadership? Would it make a difference in my organization? I'm quite certain the answer is yes. Now the question is, what focus will you change to accomplish that? I'm J Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast for Tell It Like It Is TV. Have a blessed day. Leadership team. If attitude is going to have a deep impact on your business and bottom line, make it a positive attitude with a positive impact. Visit jlorennorris.com/attitude hack